Hi, I'm Katie, and this is my home in Northamptonshire, England. Linda's asked me to give you a tour of my garden, which I'm delighted to do. We've lived here for 12 years. The house was built in 1731, and come with me and I'll give you a tour. At the front of my house, we have Iceberg Roses either side of the door. In June they're in full flower, and we also have Hidcote Lavender. Smells beautiful out here. And then the garden is through this side gate here. So, the garden runs down the side of the house, and it's about 1/4 of an acre. You can see to the top there. This border on the left is my dry shade border. So I have hostas, hydrangeas, ferns, and I kind of just put logs and make it a bit of a woodland area. So it has lots of bulbs in the springtime. I like the mirror because it reflects the light and it just makes it feel a bit more spacious in this corner. There's a lovely big fern in that pot. And from here you can see all the way down to the end of the garden. Now over here by this very large tree, which is some kind of redwood I believe, which has an absolutely beautiful trunk, I've put in a little pond which I've designed to look like it's a little brook or stream running into the garden, and it brings so much wildlife in, so newts, frogs, toads, birds. It really has made a difference to the garden. There's still quite a lot of colour here, even though we're tipping into autumn now, and you can see that by the ferns changing colour there. So yeah, I really do enjoy my pond, even though it's a bit overgrown at this time of year. And from here you can see to the back of the house. And so to the back of the house, now this is my very lovely Magnolia tree, which is a real feature in the spring. This patio is a very sociable space because this is my kitchen door here and this is my bar door here. So it's a great, it joins the two rooms together. So it's a lovely place to have people round and just the family. Actually, it's just lovely. So the seating area in the corner, I put that away in the winter so it won't be long before that goes away, but this dining table stays out all year because it's all weather rattan, which is brilliant. So my focal point from here, if I turn around, so I'm sitting here, is my 200-year-old olive tree, which, although it looks like it's in a pot, it's in fact lifted up. There's actually a hole in the bottom of here so the roots can go down. The olives really dislike being sat in water, and obviously in England we get very damp winters, so they're okay down to -10, but they hate the wet. So lifting them up, as you can see, it's very, very healthy. I have little fairy lights in it, but it's incredibly healthy. But just look how beautiful the gnarled trunk is. I have another water feature here which I put in myself with my husband's help. So I've got a pond over in this corner, this water feature, and then the Bayer wall feature, water feature at the top of the garden, which you'll see in a minute. So yeah, I use seasonal plants mainly on the patio. I love this outdoor rug, by the way. It really brings the space together and it makes it feel like an outdoor room. I love it. So I'm using ivy as a feature plant because they can stay out all year. But these pots, as you can see, I've got a Canna, hostas here, some succulents. This was a white daisy of some description. They change all through the year. Now the other feature, if I'm just careful to step back here over my little box hedge, that is very important to my patio is my wisteria. Now you can see it here, it's very, very slightly starting to change to autumn colour, but that is incredible in the spring. I might just give you a little, I'll show you a picture of it. So as you can see, the wisteria completely covers this section of wall of the house. It's under 10 years old. We prune it 2-3 times a year. I don't prune it in the winter, some people do, but it is an incredible plant. I wouldn't be without it. something else I put in was this little box hedge all the way along here, which were teeny tiny plants when I put them in, and now they've reached a really nice size and make a neat hedge. And that was actually when I got the olive, because I wanted to create a bed, because there was no bed here, so it's like a gravel bed, and to centre the olive really and make it feel part of the patio. From the patio, we're going to go up to the top of the garden, where I have built a new outdoor room. If you just look between the trees there, you'll see the fire flickering. Now we come past the Bayer fountain, which I love the sound of, to the newest feature in my garden, which is this. It was an existing pergola and I've roofed it, so it didn't have a roof. And I've also added this lovely reclaimed brick fireplace, which I had built this summer. The brick is actually to match the brick walls, which have been here for hundreds of years, and it does blend in really nicely. Now, the fire that we've got there is actually a bioethanol fire at the moment, but it can be a proper open fire, which as it gets colder we will be using. So it has a proper chimney which goes out of the roof, and I've left the roof exposed because I like to see the structure of the building. It makes it feel a bit more authentic, a bit less Disney. So I love the view. It's a very pretty view back towards the house there. It makes you feel like you're away from it all up here. It's a really cosy place to sit, and we've actually brought the dining table up here and eaten dinner up here too. In this little seating area, we go along the vegetable beds which I've built behind these box hedges to my greenhouse, which we'll take a look at next. Okay, we're now entering my favourite part of the garden. So this is my vegetable garden, seating area and greenhouse. So there's not a lot growing at the moment. I've got a big grape vine here, but these beds are just resting now. We've got the crabapple tree, which is absolutely loaded with crab apples, which are just turning yellow. I make lovely crabapple and chili jelly from those. And I have a seating area here, which I like to have a cup of coffee quietly behind the greenhouse. And then we come to my greenhouse, which last year, it's almost a year ago, I revamped this greenhouse. It was a brown old wooden one, which I've painted dark, and then I have stenciled the floor, so it looks like a tiled floor, and I added all of this specialist apple crates for storage, which are brilliant because they hide all the things that you don't want to see, but they keep it organised and it's practical as well. So this greenhouse I use all year. So in the winter I have a little electric wood burner. So it's not really a wood burner, but it looks like it. In the corner, you can just turn it on and it keeps it really toasty warm in here. I love to make wreaths. This is a wreath that I made a few weeks ago for the front door, which got by the storms and then the sun. So I've moved it in here. But actually, in the winter, I use this as my little wreath making workshop, because I like to do them every other month probably for the front door. Seasonal. I usually do them from foraged or items from the garden. Now in the summer I have tomatoes all the way down here, and these are the chilies, which are the only thing left from the summer, which were on this staging here. And I also had a cucumber growing up here as well, but they've all finished now. So it's turned into my allium head drying station, wreath making workshop, and then I'll be bringing in all of my succulents, which will, to keep them out of our wet winter, in here, and then my tender plants like my Agapanthus and bird of paradise, etc. So yeah, I absolutely love my greenhouse. It's not very big, but it's really important. So this is the view back out from the other end of the greenhouse, so you can see to the little fireplace room and across to the water fountain. You can still hear it from here, and then we'll go out and just put you in perspective of where we are with the house. So there's the house. So I almost forgot to show you 3 very important members of my family are the hens, who've been diligently laying all the way through the summer. Haven't you, girls? I do hope you enjoyed that tour. Thank you, Linda, for asking me to do it. It's been a pleasure.